Hello and welcome to the Science Bit. I'm Luis.
I'm Pavan.
And I'm Chris.
And together we combine our absolutely useless scientific knowledge
to break down your stories.
Great. What do we have on the plate today?
Well, today, interestingly, we don't have any actual stories
that
happen in the real world. But today we're going to talk about hypotheticals. So each of us has prepared two hypothetical scenarios, and we will discuss the pros and cons and the scientific feasibility of each situation.
It's like having nerds breaking down like fictional scenarios and making them more real. That's exactly what you want in a party, right? For people to be discussing like fictional things and the nerd to be like, actually, according to the law or something, that is not possible. Yeah.
I think it's not, I don't think, for me, it's not about going into like the minutiae of it. It's more about
like
let
me scratch everything that I wrote.
I think like it's not about like, oh, is this like actually possible in terms of physics or like the laws of science?
How it could be.
How it could be in theory.
Nice.
We're kind of like scratching the surface of this, because of course, like I can't actually do the math of like whether teleportation could be real, but is it like something that humanity could strive towards? Like there's smarter people than me that could achieve it. There's people that can do the math, not me. But
so stick around, kids. Today we have an episode full of fun. Who wants to start?
Chris, I think you had a very cool one to start with, I think.
Yeah, so when Breaking Bad was released, one of the most frequent questions I would get from family or relatives, like how real it is. Yeah. Is this something you could do, Chris? Is it something that happens around?
Because Uncle needs money. Like,
how easy is it? It's like,
So a disclaimer: I'm a biochemist by training.
Yeah.
So biochemists are like, in a way, organic chemists. I studied a lot of organic chemistry. So in a way, I think I could figure. I have no idea.
I mean, I think like yes, we have access to the equipment you need, but that's literally where my knowledge ends. And like in terms of how you would even start, I could not imagine. Like,
do we have access to the equipment we need? Like, I mean, to the scale? Because I remember like Walter, like they had like these big. At some point, they even have to move to this lab below, like the washing, like the laundry thing.
Yeah.
So maybe we could do like a little bit of math, just a teeny bit.
Yeah, but I think we have to think in terms of like when it was like a mom and pop operation, because that was like when they had access to the cartel money, right?
Yeah.
And then they had this like super lab.
Let's start small. This is, of course, purely hypothetical to all our listeners. And 100%. Also, like, spoiler alert. I mean, the show is already old, but we are going to be discussing things that probably will bring up spoilers. So,
good one.
That is a good disclaimer, right?
Good disclaimer. We should have said that before we started. Honestly, if you haven't watched it by now,
exactly.
I feel like the spoiler alert is enough.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like I'm not even sure you need a spoiler alert at this stage. Yeah.
So what practicality of it do you think would be less or more challenging in real life? You know, for us, for instance.
I mean, I think purely the chemistry. Obviously, obviously Walter is like portrayed as some genius who can like just make like anything out of anything else. Like, like I mean, in theory, he could have made like lead into gold or whatever. Like, like you know, like as
he's a chemist, not an alchemist, but
true. But like, I mean, if like that was possible in a chemical way, like he's the kind of person that is portrayed as like, this like super genius that could find a way to do it.
I am the danger, you know.
I am the man.
Say my name, you know. Like.
No, I mean, I think the more interesting aspect here is like, let's just say, hypothetically, obviously, is if somebody was, cooking meth in our lab situation, would you be able to detect it? Like suddenly, let's just say like
everyone would be very happy all of a sudden.
I don't know if they're distributing the product.
Lab meeting, amazing! Oh my god!
It's like, oh my god, you had so much energy. Like, wow! It was like, what did you have for breakfast?
And like the dilated pupils, and people like drinking a lot of water. Like, I don't know.
It's like I'm taking in all the information. Yeah. No, but I guess it was more the sense that, like, if like suddenly beakers start going missing, like at what point would you suspect that something nefarious is going on? Like how many beakers would have to go missing, or like how many things would would you lose, or how many things would you be like, what the hell? We had like 10 measuring cylinders. Now we have like one that's like broken. Like what? Like,
I think
would you then be like, where is all this stuff going?
I think the most suspicious thing would be when a guy shows up with no hair and a mustache.
I mean, that's when, yeah, exactly. But that's when, obviously, I think that's when you would make the link to Breaking Bad. But like, if
you would make the link while sitting down on a toilet. And you'd see like this book that is like on the toilet. You see, there you know what I'm getting here, like this very specific reference.
With the WW. But no, I'm saying like, okay, like, you know, we all need access to stuff. Like, you know, in the very first episode, I can't remember what episode it was, but like the high school starts reporting loss of like beakers and like conical flasks and stuff, and then they're like, oh, does someone have access to this? And then they blame the students, and they're like, yeah, it's just like someone trying to cook meth or whatever. But like in our lab, we have access to all that stuff, like volumetric flasks, like huge conical flasks, like you know, like how many things would you consider on a day-to-day basis? Like,
you just say something got broken. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
you're like,
oh no, I've been such a mess. It's the third one that I break today. Yeah,
exactly. Like, I mean, would someone be suspicious? Like, or would you just go, I just need to be replaced?
I mean, if someone was suspicious, I don't think that the suspicion would go immediately for, oh, someone's cooking meth. You know?
No, exactly. That's what I mean. So how long would it actually take for you to eventually? Because like the police aren't coming around just because you've lost like, you know, I don't know, some 10 beakers or something.
No.
Like, but of course, like you're doing something illegal.
I think it would be more about like the regions that are required for that. I think those can be flagged.
Definitely, yeah.
Those would be like
exactly.
a big. For instance, we have some specific regions or some specific like products that if you use. For instance, if you do research on drugs, you can have them in the lab, but you have them under a certain, like a lot of like paperwork, and you have like this very specific amount. And you know, if that would become like a red flag, if all of a sudden you would have to require more from the supplier or something like that. So if any, that would be the case, I would say. I know that on Breaking Bad, at some point they start using like as the initial product, they start using like pseudoephedrine. I think that's how
they started. Yeah,
like the nose, like the decongestant.
Yeah.
And I think that is not sold, at least in Sweden.
Yeah.
Because it has some side effects.
Yeah.
I have sinusitis, so that's usually I looked for that. So that would be something that would, especially in Sweden where regulations are very tight. I think those would be.
But I mean, I think like, you know, later on, like of course, like that's how you start. Like I think that's the known way to like start. Cooking meth.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you can also like use like your chemical knowledge to essentially do it from scratch.
Yeah.
Where you kind of bypass the pseudo, because the pseudo like kind of gives you a point where like you're kind of meeting the reaction like halfway.
Already, like you only have to do a certain reaction after that.
I think obviously
a replacement of like a group of the carbon like you know. I'm not sounding very scientific and I have no idea what I'm saying. So should I ChatGPT and be like, hi, how can I make like meth from pseudo?
How do you does it actually allow you to ask the question?
Keep filling up the antenna. I will keep like keep talking while I Google or I ask that to ChatGPT.
Yeah. But I mean like sorry, do you want to say something, Chris? Yeah.
No, I was thinking for the next step. I mean, what do you do if you actually notice someone doing that or like suspect someone is doing that? For example, I don't know, your student or your professor.
But would you actually think it was for cooking meth? Like, I mean, you would assume it was maybe they were just performing a reaction that is like outside of the norm. You're like, it's a little weird, but I mean, unless you see the meth actually being, we also have like a safety, like a biosafety cabinet where you could essentially like make like all the things that produce fumes and toxic compounds and stuff. So
I would not trust that biosafety cabinet that much. There's a note saying that the fans are not working as optimally as
we love the labs where we work. We love them.
Of course. I mean, this is obviously assuming that we're in like in a place where all these things would be controlled. Like in our actual lab, like I think that obviously these things become a little bit more dangerous. Like trying to do it in, like obviously there's like a lot of people working there as well. So you wouldn't do it during working hours. where like the fan issue would actually become a thing. But you're right. Like, I actually don't know if I would suspect my lab mates of doing something. Like, I would assume the best. Like, I would think that, oh, there's something interesting they're doing. Like, you would ask them, and
I mean,
you would
it is interesting.
Yeah, of
if
course.
They're actually,
Yeah, and you can tell when someone is like locked in, and like obviously to cook meth, you got to be locked in. Like, you can't just like you can't do like 50-50. Otherwise, I guess you're going to make an inferior product. So if somebody's locked in at work and you're like, what are you doing? Like, that looks very interesting. And yeah,
interesting blue color crystals.
Answer from ChatGPT. I can't help with instruction for making illegal drugs. Sad smiley face. These include step-by-step and practical guidance on converting pseudoephedrine into methamphetamine. Okay. So I have to refuse on safety and legal grounds. However, I googled like the structure of both molecules, and they are indeed like very similar. Like there's only like a hydroxyl group on pseudoephedrine that is not present on methamphetamine. So it should be like an easy reaction. So, long story short, let's do it.
I think I would. I'm not sure I would do it, only because I'm not confident enough in my chemistry skills. I think I would maybe be able to get all the equipment.
Okay.
I would be.
So Pavan gives the equipment.
I could be the one in charge of getting all the stuff.
Chris.
So you're like. So we could be Jesse's more.
Exactly. Yeah. I think I would fit. I would fit the Jesse mold.
Science, Mr. White.
Yeah. Exactly. That's some chili pea.
That's definitely up to your alley, Pawan. Like adding chili pea to everything.
I have a very specific quote. This is my own private my own private property, and I will not be harassed. Bitch! Like him on the other side of the caravan door.
Yeah.
Like, I just remember this very specific line.
Oh yeah.
This is my own private lab, and I will not be harassed.
Exactly.
Bitch,
so many epic scenes there.
Oh God. Yeah, Mr. White. All right.
But what would you do if a professor approaches you and offers you such opportunity?
So
I mean, I think that naturally you would probably be hesitant. Like, at least I would be. I would feel like this is not something I would be interested in. Unless, I mean, I guess it would depend. It would depend on how lucrative. Cancer. That's true. If I had cancer, it would be different. And I didn't have enough money.
I mean, but we are in Europe. So all of a sudden, like the context of the economical burden of having a disease in it's not the comparable scenario, I would say.
No, but I mean, I guess not just that. I guess the bottom line is that there was not enough money to live for the rest of or to take care of his family.
Yeah.
So that could be true anywhere in the world, right?
That's true.
So I mean, it doesn't have to be specifically because of a disease, but it's just a general situation.
Well, we live in Sweden, and everyone knows that Sweden indeed is like a country where like economical prosperity is like it's a challenge. So we have
Yeah, I mean, but still, like, I mean, just making enough money for the rest of your life.
Who doesn't want that?
No, exactly. So like, if someone gave you the opportunity, I'm not sure. What about you, Chris? Like, what would you do?
I think that the series is quite romanticized. How to say it? So all this criminal activity is quite romanticized.
Yeah.
And I think it underestimates the stress that you feel.
Oh yeah,
you would feel in that kind of scenario. Like, I don't think I would be able to sleep.
Yeah.
So next question: How much more stressful would it be than doing a PhD?
Oh, that's a good one.
I think a million times more. Like, I mean, the thing is, doing a PhD, if something fails, like, God forbid, like
God forbid, that happens every time.
Of course. I mean, like, if everything goes bad, then whereas like you can't get a PhD. In the end of the day, it's just a degree. You've lost some time.
You cannot go to jail for not getting a PhD.
Exactly. Like, you're not going to jail. You're not affecting people's lives. It's just your own life.
Yeah.
But you're not like, by making the drugs, you're technically affecting all the people who are going to take it. There's the guilt of that. There's the guilt of, like burdening your family, like suddenly, you know.
But also financial freedom, Pawan.
like on one side of the scale, all of that. On the other side, financial freedom.
The financial freedom obviously extremely tempting.
Yeah.
And that is like, but I don't know if that's enough to like warrant all the criminal activity where you're like, and I don't know, I think I would be more burdened by the guilt of everything than like, even if you had the money, like, you know, it's like survival guilt in many ways. Like you somehow you have something that others don't through a means that you shouldn't have it.
Pavan is weak.
Yeah. It's true.
It's so I would no, I cannot say. I would say yes. No, but it's in terms of stressfulness, like stressful stress. I mean, I think it would be more. I mean, you have a burden of like the whole legal. But if you are a person to whom like the concept of doing something against the law isn't something that brings a weight to your consciousness, maybe at the end of the day, if you remove that variable, maybe when comparing to a PhD, well, at least in the end, you are getting a lot of money and you are getting like you're getting financial freedom, right?
Yeah.
Not to make like these, not to try to preach this to the people, but you know, I don't know. I've seen people going haywire for worse reasons, you know.
Yeah. I mean, for sure. Like, and we know. I mean, we have experiences of people who have like screamed in the lab and everything. We don't know. Like, I mean, they.
But imagine screaming in the lab and getting a buttload of money in the end. You know, like
true.
at least
That's
you know.
True.
It's,
yeah.
It's like instead of like, why did my cells die? It's like, bring more pseudo. We need more. You know, at the end of the day, it's like, At least you go home and you have a lot of money. In the PhD, you go home and you have a lot of like tears to cry.
True, but you can't get arrested when you go home.
That's true.
There's always a possibility that you go home one day with all the money and it's like, oh, actually, speaking of Breaking Bad, another interesting thing is, let's just say that, I guess we can talk about my hypothetical in relation to that. If you were, like, if you had some superpowers, or if you had this extra ability or some ability that is like, you know, considered super, would you then use it for good, or would you use it to break bad and, you know, help yourself? Let's say
we are transitioning from Breaking Bad into The Boys here, right? The Boys?
No, what is The Boys?
Oh, okay. These reference will not work. Cut this part out. It's this show on Amazon with like superheroes.
Yeah. I know that one. Yeah. I know of it. I've just never seen it. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, like I guess yeah. Like the idea is that would you use it for good or for bad? So obviously Walter White, extremely smart guy, used his superpower, air quotation marks, to break bad rather than break good. Like he could have done something amazing with that skill set, yet he chose something nefarious. So like, I mean, you can take any superpower and So what is the?
We are using our superpowers. I mean, if we consider like the fact that we are scientists being like the closest thing we can have to a superpower, we're using them for good, right? We could use our mind, our intelligence, not that everyone is very intelligent, but you know, in general, we've been using it for good, right? So we are choosing the light by wanting to whatever cure cancer, cure whatever our research is about.
True. I mean, like, but that's of course because it's extremely related to the real world.
Yeah.
Like if you had the power to, you know, become invisible, for example, like would you then, like, I mean, that's not something where you could apply it to like any normal situation. Like you would almost have to become a spy, like as in, you know, like to save humanity. Like where you're like, oh, not save humanity, but like, you know, you would essentially become like a government spy or something, like to use invisibility, like where it would never be useful in a lab situation, like in like a hospital.
No.
Like why would you want to be invisible? Like it makes no sense.
So, but like for that, like without the point of being a scientist, because being invisible does not help at all in the task of being a scientist.
Yeah, but so my point is, like, let's just say you had a power like that. Like, so then if you got that kind of ability, would you then use it to help or to help yourself? I guess that's the underlying thing I'm trying to say.
I mean, we have more than enough examples on fiction of how great power can turn people. It depends a lot on the people, right? I like to think that I would use it for good, right?
Okay.
But I probably wouldn't be here admitting it. It's like, no, I would probably become haywire and just.
No, I mean, I guess it like the thing is, a villain like doesn't know they're the villain, right? Like as in if you take it from their perspective,
their own story.
Yeah, exactly. So like a villain is starting out by just being like, you know what, like I'm just taking something that rightfully belongs, taking back that was rightfully mine, and that's how it starts. And then suddenly it's like, oh, the world is also mine. Like, you know, obviously that's like
where do you set the
statement.
boundary?
Yeah. So eventually, like your ambition grows, but then like at the start, it's probably not that serious of a decision. It's just like, am I choosing something a bit more selfish versus being like, oh, can I be altruistic?
Maybe a bit of both. Imagine you had flying ability, right?
Yeah.
So you would use it obviously to avoid traffic jams.
Exactly.
but at the same time, maybe
off
you
to
can
work, honey. You know, like
yeah.
But then you can maybe also work for a hospital delivering like samples or donors.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I mean, just making like, and so like, I mean, in theory, you could also like, you know, I don't know, work for the US government and do some other nefarious stuff like flying all over the world. Like
the boys,
so like, I mean, then you could, you know, you could earn a lot of money. So what then, like, would you then choose that option, or would you be like, okay, I'm going to actually, you know, fly doctors around the world to places they can't go. They can't read access and then give treatment to people. Like, I mean,
all right, doctors, who wants to go to Africa now? Okay, you.
It's like, we're going to force you.
There's malaria to be cured.
And is that actually Breaking Bad? Because now you're actually interfering on free will because you're taking...
I guess I don't want to admit it, but I would for sure become a villain. Apparently.
I think so. I think it's so easy to become a villain. Like, I think it's actually way more like, because every villain usually has a humble beginning. They don't start out as a sociopath. They often, like, I mean, some sure are naturally inclined to becoming sociopaths, or like are not becoming a sociopath, but they are sociopathic. So they would have like thoughts that are not normal.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for most people who grow up in like society, like, I think it's like a lot of things that go wrong, or a lot of things happen that then kind of pushes you into a path.
Oh, this is deep, Ivan.
Jesus
Christ, we are going.
Yeah. I mean, this is okay. So you come to the science pit to go into the pit.
Oh, you don't come. You
don't come to the science pit to scratch the surface. Come on now.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments, guys. Like, you know, like kind of let us know, because we are reaching some dark conclusions here. You know.
No, I guess it's I don't know how dark it is. Like, it's just like how your experiences shape who you are.
Yeah. I don't know. I also had another thought. Like, again, like if you had a superpower, would you be like Spider-Man and hide it? Or would you be like open about it?
Like flaunt it?
All the or pretty much all the superheroes movies are like, oh no, you have this power, you have to protect your identity, you have to be like, this has to be a secret. But I think that's like for the sake of the plot, because it enriches the plot more if you have the concept of like, I mean, after that you had like, what, Hannah Montana, like the Wizards of Waverly Place, you know, like teenage TV show is about hiding a secret.
Yeah,
whether that is being a pop star or being a wizard.
But even like for the closest friends and family, I don't know. It's,
I would go to everyone's like, look what I can do. Look, Mom.
But in reality, like, even if you try to hide this, like, I think if we have like AI or whatever now, like the power that we have, you could just essentially input a photo of that person and be like,
oh no, Clark Kent.
Yeah, it's like, is Clark Kent Superman? Like, you know, like, I mean, it's not as if it's that difficult.
And the AI would totally reply like, duh. Like,
like, or like, I mean, there's a guy who has like unlimited, like, I don't know, Batman, for example, has like infinite money. and he has like all these crazy tech. It was like, well,
Bruce?
how is he getting access to this? Who's making this for him? Like, is he making it himself? Like, obviously there's like trails that you could follow. And in theory, you could probably unmask the superheroes like way quicker than the thing. So like the idea of like trying to hide it is actually kind of ludicrous. Like, and of course, like you would, like, I think in theory you would try to, at least I think I would try to hide it, just because you don't want it to become like, you don't want to become suddenly in the spotlight, because then just doing things becomes more difficult. Like everywhere you go, people are like, oh my God, there's this guy. Like, let's try to get a photo with him. Like, let's just like interview him for a podcast
being
or something.
Being a superhero is so tiring. Like, oh my God, everyone wants to take pictures of me. And everyone's like, oh my God, can you save my cat? It's like, oh my God, just like, let me go.
Yeah, exactly.
You mentioned artificial intelligence, which brings us to another topic that we want to discuss, since we are like on TV shows. What about Westworld? How would this be? Like, if we approach this for like first, like the feasibility of it. I mean, now that AI is on the rise, I mean, Westworld is from 2016, I think, the first season, but now it is even more like possible for us to get close to it. What would be like, how possible would that be? Like, how close are we to having like a theme park where we can play around with just like AI robots that are very close to a human? I mean, people already do that with ChatGPT, don't they? Like, people fuck around with it, like not the literal fuck around that we see on Westworld, like physical, because ChatGPT is still like an interface, but like people play around with it a lot and make fun of it a lot. So if with only like a language model, we are already having this kind of like exaggeration of like what we can do to play around with these semi-conscious entities, what would we do if indeed they were robots like they exist on that TV show?
I think we're quite close in virtual reality to generate that kind of world. In virtual reality, probably it's not too far. Going for humanoid robots, that's further away, but it would be quite interesting to have some humanoid robots in the lab, I think.
That would be very handy. But I mean, I think that
go bypass my cells. Go change my media.
I wouldn't care. Like, it would be like, I'll do it happily. Like, and that would be the best.
Heat up my lunch.
Have it ready by 12:05,
have
please.
this meeting with my boss.
Exactly.
And the same way that you do with ChatGPT, is like, please be assertive, funny, sarcastic, like that.
Indeed. But I mean, I think coming back to your question, I think like the ChatGPT is indeed like, I think it's the first step that I think a society usually probably does take, and we have taken it, that we've kind of like essentially embraced AI as it's like, it's helping us in every task that we do. Like, essentially in the lab, like, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I use it a lot. Like, to not
go read a bunch of papers for me and tell me what they
and like
say.
summarize it and let me know instead of doing it myself. And there's like a lot of tasks that are, so I think that this is just like step one. And if you just combine it with and humanoid robots are not that far away, Chris. I think like where like I think at these big companies like Amazon, Google, and like wherever, like Facebook or whatever, I'm sure they're playing around with humanized robots for sure. And I mean, and these big multinational corporations definitely don't care about the little guy. So they just want to make money. And if they have a way to make it, they don't want to pay like hundreds and thousands of salaries. Like, if they can just have a robot that works 24 hours a day, guess what? They're going to do that. I think it's like, I think to your point, Lou, I think it's closer than we think. And like, in terms of what we would do if we had it, like, I think it would be, I think you would use, I would definitely embrace it, I think.
Yeah. But the thing is, in this case, it's like exploring like how scientifically, I don't know, like how would that be the implications in terms of how could we be human on our usage of that? So because we look at Westworld and it's like, oh my God, these terrible people are using these robots for their like physical desires. Oh my God. But with ChatGPT, of course, it's not physical because it's not physical, but we are already doing like very similar things. We are playing around with it a lot. We are using it for our fun. Like, go do this little, like, you are putting the little coin there. It's like, go dance for me.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's the same as it's like the same as anything else. Like any invention in the history that we've had is that it's technically can be used for good or bad. And like, of course, and like, not that everything is good or bad. Everything maybe is like simultaneously good and bad.
I think it's a gray area.
It's like, I think it's just one giant gray area.
Yeah.
Like you can simultaneously use it for good and bad. And I think that this is just how it's going to be. Like some people will use the humanized robots for like fornication and to kind of like to enhance your enhance pleasure in your life.
I love that we have the word fornication in our podcast. Like,
yeah, of course. I mean, like that's where you come to the science bit. Got to go deep, baby. I guess how deep you got to ask the robot. Like I don't know.
Oh, look at him asking for consent.
Of course.
Always.
Like I mean that should always be the case.
Of course.
But yeah, like, and in terms of good, you could use it to like I don't know, perform heart surgery simultaneously. Yeah. Like the same robot could be used for both things.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. At the same time. No.
I mean, that would be truly that would be something to watch for sure.
Oh no!
Because I mean, it would kind of interest me on both aspects. Like, I mean, like you would just be interested in like seeing the heart surgery because that's so complicated, and yet it's like a robot performing that and someone fornicating with it simultaneously. I mean, like. It definitely piques your scientific interest. For me,
it
anyway.
Piques your scientific interest. Mm-hmm.
There is a scientific part of this as well, though. It's
of course, it's merely academical, whatever we are discussing here.
Of course. Yeah. Just purely hypothetical.
Yeah,
of course.
Of course. All right. So now turning this AI into a more positive side. I actually brought also an episode from Black Mirror called Hang the DJ. And it's from all the Black Mirror episodes, I think it's actually a positive one, where it actually is portraying AI in a way to simulate two personalities and see how compatible they are based on how they would be willing to fight to be together in the end. Mm-hmm. So this is an episode that is maybe like 10 years old. But nowadays, when I was thinking about this, AI or like ChatGPT or whatever kind of AI model could actually do this kind of thing. So if you imagine that inputting like two personalities into a simulation in AI, and you can actually see on the simulation how compatible they are, how willing to be together they would be. This would actually like be the future of Tinder.
But I mean, what is the that's I mean, obviously extremely interesting. And I think like it would be like taking a scientific approach to finding your soulmate, let's say, like if that exists.
Yeah, or a simulation approach, like an AI approach to.
Yeah, exactly. Like I mean, but the thing is, like, what is the data you would use there? Like, so would you then have to input all the data from your life, like all your interests and like, I guess it would be similar to like internet dating in like the early 2000s, where like you would create a profile, and it would kind of match you.
Do you know those videos where you have like two, like you put like two Alexas talking to each other? Mm-hmm. Imagine if you have like two ChatGPTs, but like each one of them you configure them, you set them with the personality compatible with like each one of the people, and you see how well they would get along.
No, I completely understand. I'm just saying, like, let's just say, like, I mean, how much data from, like, as in you would have to essentially input data from your own life, right?
Yeah.
Like, so, like, I mean, are you putting in your experiences, like, as in, like, what kind, like, are we thinking, like, because I think it's an awesome idea, right? Like, that if you could, like, just take your life, compress it into an AI, and it's like now it's like it is essentially you represented in AI form. Mm-hmm. So then like it has to like embed itself in your life and like know the choices you're going to make.
You already have all of that information when it's collected for your ads, right? Like all the Google
That's
ads.
True.
Like
it right, knows exactly.
You. So maybe you could form like a pseudo AI personality with that, and then make it like talk to another AI. And, basically the AIs would be doing, because time is infinite in AI, right? So the AIs would be doing what you cannot physically do in your physical time, which is like at some point you can only meet a certain amount of people, you can only date a few people until like you settle.
Yeah.
Now the AI has like infinite time for that. So while the AI is running that simulation, you go through your life, and maybe after one day or two, the AI will be like, oh, actually, the most compatible person with you is this one, because I went on a date with like 10,000 people, you know. And can you tell that I'm the only single person in this podcast? I'm very excited about this idea.
But actually, I think interestingly, like I think that I'm not like I think we are like I think we're kind of like ruled by our emotions, right? Like I'm not I think like you could simulate a lot of things, but like on any given day you could feel any given thing. So like sometimes the partners that we find, or like the people we get along with, are somehow they like sync with us emotionally more than like they kind of fit our profile.
Yeah.
So
it's
like
circumstantial
I think, so like
well.
I would be so interested to know if ChatGPT dated like, let's just say instead of 10,000, 10 million people, right? Like 10 million possible content. And it's like, this is the person for you. And then you meet that person and you're like, I don't like this person. You know what I mean? Like there's something just, you can't put your finger on it, but you're like, there's something off here.
Yeah, we are not just our personality traits. Yeah. That's true.
Like, and you know, like, and maybe, you know, like, I don't know, like on a certain day, you're having a bad day or a good day. It's like in my relationship, I hope my partner's not listening to this, but like, you know, there's some times when you want someone who is not compatible 100%, like they kind of disagree with some points that you make.
Yeah.
So they're not like, and I wonder if ChatGPT would take that into account.
I mean, ChatGPT is very pleasing,
not
isn't
ChatGPT,
it?
but like
or
the AI or whatever,
AI in general, like they are very pleasing, right? They are not willing to be like, no, it's like, oh wow, yes, you are absolutely right. How did I not see this before?
Yeah, so, like I wonder if Grok, for example, who's like taking Twitter as their main source of as their, you know,
any match done there would be absolute data, shite. I mean, knowing the people that inhabit Twitter, I think that would be
right. But like some sort of combo of like, because you would want the Grok stuff because it's like it is like some emotional, like, you know, when you're reacting to like events that are happening, and then on top of that, you also want the calm, cool logic of ChatGPT to kind of go together to then find you someone that is like, who's like, so kind
ChatGPT wouldn't date Grok.
Right. I mean, they would probably reject
two opposites, but it's like,
but the thing is, as human beings, we kind of attracted to the opposite.
So ChatGPT would fuck Grok. Like
ChatGPT may not, but maybe it would think
a one-night stand.
Yeah, but like I don't know. It's like it's so I don't know like how to explain it. Like what do you think, Chris? Like when you're talking to your partner, like are you like, do you think they're similar to you? They're like different to you? Do you think like AI would have picked that person for you?
No, but I agree. I think some differences are really good and important for me. So.
But do you think the AI would be able to pick up like what differences are important versus what are not? You know, like, because
that gets more human, more intricate, right?
And it also changes.
Yeah,
like that's the thing. Like I met my partner on a time when maybe I just had a particular mentality.
Yeah,
and then that just suited me perfectly.
Yeah,
and that's why we kind of end up together. And then of course you grow together. And then that's a whole different story. But like if you're in the wrong mental space, like you know, you're not if you're not like, if I was single and I was looking for a partner, then I would be a little bit more open to different personalities versus like, you know, if you've just coming out of a big relationship.
And this just became like a sentimental podcast while you guys are teaching Luis how to be hopeful about
Yeah, exactly. There's always hope, man. Like, just take it from us.
Thank you, Papa.
Honestly, I thought I would never find someone, and I found someone. So if I can do it, anyone can do it.
All right. Any listeners who are single, you feel free to text me on.
Just send us your info at thesciencepit@gmail.com, and we'll be happy to take your requests.
But actually, since you are talking about our Gmail, it's actually like a good idea to promote people who are listening to us to just drop us a line if you have any suggestions of themes to discuss here. If you have your own stories, because after all, we are also a podcast about stories, feel free to drop us a line. We would be very happy to discuss them here. So thank you very much for listening, guys. We want to give a special thank you to Go to 10 from the Internet Stiftelsen in Malmö for their awesome studio. And again, if you have any suggestions for us to discuss here, feel free to drop us a line. We will be happy to throw them in the pit. Until then, I have been Luis.
I'm Pavan.
And I'm Chris.
And this was the Science Pit.
Den här podden spelas in på Internetstiftelsens kostnadsfria mötesplats Go210. Vi finns i Stockholm, Malmö och Linköping och här kan du arbeta, gå på ett event eller spela in en podd i vår studio. Läs mer på go210.se.